My God. I think we have over 800 people. We've broken records. The fire marshal has actually called us and told me that. So thanks to all of you for being here. And really, thank you, Johnson. My God, what a story. It's unbelievable. Wherever he's back there. What a journey that he's been through with his family. On behalf of the Epilepsy Foundation of Greater Los Angeles, we're honored to have played a role in his recovery. And thank you all. We welcome you and all of our guests from the National Epilepsy Foundation to the 2016 EFGLA Care+Cure Benefit Dinner. Tonight's gala is the 10th annual, if you didn't notice that, given the giant 1 in the O and the word years behind me. So on behalf of the board, as well as on behalf of Mark Borman, who you'll hear from later, tonight's co-chair, love you, Mark. We are grateful for the incredible turnout this evening. We're blessed to have so much support from the community and so fortunate to be able to honor one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet if you don't already know him, but like one of my best friends, Doug Belgrad, the president of the Sony Pictures Motion Picture Group. Where's Doug? There's Dougie. Love you. And before I continue, I just want to briefly say, as I have said in years past, I'll say it every year that I get a chance to do this, none of this would ever be possible without the support from my best friend, my wife, Nicole. I love you. You're somewhere out there too. I don't know. Hi, honey. Okay. I also need to thank one other group, the Board of Trustees and the Executive Director of the EFGLA, Susan Picha-Squeda, her staff, who are all passionate and devoted to their commitment to end epilepsy. And I would actually ask Susan and the staff and the entire board to stand and be recognized, please. So if you're out there, take a moment. You earned it. There you go. Woo! Great. As many of you know, Mark and I are parents of children suffering with epilepsy. In my case, my daughter, Chloe, who's 15 years old, suffered a traumatic brain injury at birth. And as a result of that, she suffers from, among other things, epilepsy, and actually has seizures, unfortunately, every day of her life. Her mother, Nicole, and Chloe's 13-year-old brother, Jake, and 10-year-old sister, Alex, live in an epileptic world, if you can call it that, every day of their lives. So in my case, inspired by Chloe, and in Mark's case, inspired by his son Ari, who also struggles with seizures every day, my family and Mark's have devoted ourselves to making sure all children in Los Angeles living with epilepsy have access to the highest level of specialized care. So now we're in our 10th year of the Care+Cure Benefit Dinner to end epilepsy, and we think we've helped define Los Angeles as a place of excellence for pediatric epilepsy care. This was not always the case. When Mark and I first got started, there were almost no epilepsy specialists, which are called epileptologists. You'll hear that word throughout the evening in Los Angeles. And you could see a general pediatric neurologist, but the wait times to see the specialist, the epileptologist, it could be 6 months or more. And this just wasn't acceptable, and it could have tragic results. So we and the EFGLA got to work, and we tried to fix a multitude of problems that we saw. And some of the problems that existed, and to an extent still do exist, were lack of specialists, lack of advocacy, lack of supportive care, tremendous feelings of isolation for the patients with epilepsy. There was little awareness in the community of how many people have epilepsy, 160,000 in Los Angeles, 3 million in the United States, 65 million people worldwide. It's a massive disease, and not enough research being done to cure the problem. So we started funding epilepsy fellowships so that pediatric neurologists could become epileptologists. We've now funded to date 22 fellowships in the Los Angeles area. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you. And this has allowed for a major decrease in wait times for afflicted patients to see a specialist. We've launched 3 ketogenic dietary programs. I'll explain what that is in a second, at UCLA, at LA County USC, and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We've done this in collaboration with the CHLA Foundation, which is overseen by an amazing man, Jim Abrams, who's a dear friend of us, who I think's in the audience tonight. So Jim, if you're there, we love you. The ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet, and it requires the oversight by trained dietitians and nurses, and it's proven to help a lot of folks suffering with epilepsy. In the area of advocacy, we work tirelessly, and we got a bill passed in California called SB 161, and it's a new law, and it permits non-medical school employees to provide an emergency medicine called Diastat to students who are experiencing a seizure in school. We implemented supportive care activities, such as epilepsy family camp at a place called the Painted Turtle in the local Los Angeles mountains. Kids can go there with their families. It's free of charge, and it's an incredible place. We instituted teen retreats, family picnics, and of course the amazing multi-thousand people strong Walk to End Epilepsy, which takes place every year at the Rose Bowl. So, yeah, it's great. So these activities not only allow families and patients struggling with epilepsy to feel part of the community, but they combat an isolated feeling. There's a lot of isolation that goes on with epilepsy, and the families who are suffering with it and the kids, they struggle with that isolation. So we made epilepsy awareness a key part of our mission, and we went out to schools and we educated students and teachers on epilepsy first aid. And in the area of research, we funded studies into CBD oil, which you probably heard about. It's the so-called medical marijuana oil, which has helped many parents with their seizures, as well as stem cell research. So it's been great. Thank you. And most recently, the Epilepsy Foundation of Greater Los Angeles, we made a $1.6 million endowment to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. It's great. And we're going to fund a pediatric epilepsy fellowship program, and the endowment that we funded will be used to train one epilepsy fellow every year, here it goes guys, in perpetuity. That's it, every year in perpetuity. So it's really great. And I would be remiss, I just want to point out one thing. We have, all the hospitals are fantastic. Just recently, this just happened. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that CHLA last month in April, they received the highest level accreditation. It's level 4 from this entity called the National Association of Epilepsy Centers. And it's a remarkable achievement. So, congratulations, CHLA. Very commendable. So with CHLA becoming a level 4 pediatric epilepsy center, LA now has the 3rd best ratio of pediatric epilepsy centers to children in the entire United States. It is no small feat given the size of our city and our population here. So at the end of the day, it's all about increasing the number of doctors, right? The more doctors, the more conversations they have, the more research they can do, and we'll find a cure. It's very simple. All the diagnoses and treatments, from gene therapies to brain surgeries to diets, anti-epileptic medications, vagus nerve stimulators, it all sounds so fancy and important. Well, it is fancy, it is important, and I have no idea what to do with it, but they do, and that's why we need them. So we need the trained experts. So unless there's a precise diagnosis by these trained experts, treatment of seizures is really just a matter of chance. Proper treatment requires more than the right choice of which medication to use. At the very end of the day, the epilepsy specialists are on the front lines, and they're the game changers. So we like to think the evidence shows that through our efforts, the landscape for patients with epilepsy and their families has indeed greatly improved over the last 10 years. And there's much more work to do, and with your help, we're making great strides in saving lives. We're giving the kids with epilepsy and their families a chance for a better, more normal life. However, and there's always the however, notwithstanding all of that, there are still many, many kids and families struggling with the disease. And I'll speak about my family. So in my family, as I said earlier, every single day of every single year of Chloe's life, Nicole and I need to worry about the seizures and the impact they're having on Chloe. And I know it's the same for Mark and for Karen regarding their son Ari. And it's hard to communicate. You can't do it in words, so I'll do my best. But there's a pain and this feeling of helplessness that you have as a parent when you watch your kids seize. And just the other night, Nicole and I were at dinner, and she brought up how difficult it was whenever there's a holiday, like Mother's Day, and she mentioned, or there's a birthday. And there's that traditional opportunity, we all know, to make a wish. And so we were talking about, the candles are glowing and friends and family are there and they're snapping photos. And I just got to say, as a parent with a child with epilepsy, those are the moments that are really, really hard. Because in that moment, in that exact moment, the one wish you want to come true is not, the trip you want to take or the luxury item you hope you get. Not even close. It is not even close to what you want. The only wish you want to come true is the wish for a cure, so that Chloe and Ari and hundreds of thousands of other kids with uncontrolled seizures will just stop seizing. That's the wish every single time, period, full stop, every time. And so here we are tonight, gathered as activists for a cause. We're the doers. There's no one else doing it. We're the doers, and we have no other choice. And I'll end with a quote that really resonated for me. And Leonardo da Vinci said, "It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things." So tonight, let's go happen to fight epilepsy and fulfill the mission to end this disease once and for all. Thank you very much. Thank you.